In the ancient kingdom of Magadha, nestled amidst serene mountains and lush forests, there lived a devoted monk named Siddharma. He had spent many years dedicated to the practice of meditation, seeking inner peace and enlightenment. However, despite his sincere efforts, Siddharma found himself tormented by a relentless stream of negative thoughts and emotions that seemed to cloud his mind. Each time he sat down to meditate, a whirlwind of doubts, fears, and anxieties would arise, distracting him from the tranquility he sought. Siddharma felt frustrated and disheartened, wondering if he was simply not meant to find the inner peace he so earnestly desired. One day, news of Siddharma's struggle reached the ears of the Buddha, who was known for his profound wisdom and compassionate guidance. Intrigued by the monk's predicament, the Buddha decided to visit him and offer his counsel. As the sun dipped below the horizon, bathing the world in hues of orange and gold, the Buddha approached Siddharma, who was seated in deep meditation under the shade of a sacred Bodhi tree. The monk's face reflected his inner turmoil, his brows furrowed in concentration. "Greetings, Venerable One," said the Buddha, his voice calm and gentle. "I have come to offer my assistance in finding the peace you seek." Siddharma opened his eyes, startled by the presence of the enlightened one. With humility and respect, he bowed to the Buddha and poured out his heart, explaining his struggles with the incessant negative thoughts and emotions that disturbed his meditation. The Buddha listened with empathy, his eyes filled with understanding. He placed a comforting hand on Siddharma's shoulder and spoke words that resonated deeply within the monk's soul. "Imagine your thoughts and emotions as guests in your mind," the Buddha suggested. "Just as guests come and go freely in a house, allow these thoughts and emotions to pass through your consciousness without clinging to them. Observe them without judgment, and they will lose their power over you." Siddharma nodded thoughtfully, intrigued by the simplicity and profundity of the Buddha's advice. With renewed determination, he returned to his meditation, ready to put the Buddha's guidance into practice. As he closed his eyes and focused on his breath, Siddharma soon noticed the familiar torrent of thoughts and emotions arising once more. This time, instead of trying to push them away or resist them, he embraced them as invited guests in the house of his mind. With each breath, he observed the thoughts and emotions, allowing them to come and go without grasping onto them or being swept away by their currents. He watched as they danced like wisps of smoke, rising and falling in the vast expanse of his consciousness. To his surprise, as Siddharma practiced non-attachment and mindful observation, the thoughts and emotions gradually lost their intensity. Like passing clouds, they began to disperse, leaving behind a spaciousness and tranquility within him. For the first time in a long while, Siddharma experienced a sense of inner peace. The turmoil that had once gripped his heart now seemed distant and insignificant, like ripples on a calm pond. With a serene smile on his face, Siddharma opened his eyes and met the gaze of the Buddha. Gratitude welled up in his heart as he realized the transformative power of mindfulness and non-identification with thoughts and emotions. "Thank you, revered one," Siddharma said, his voice filled with sincerity. "Your wisdom has brought me the peace I have been seeking. I now understand that thoughts and emotions are like fleeting guests, temporary visitors in the house of my mind." The Buddha smiled warmly, acknowledging Siddharma's progress. "Indeed, my dear friend, the power of mindfulness lies in observing without attachment or aversion. When we cease to identify ourselves with thoughts and emotions, we find the peace that transcends the fluctuations of the mind." From that day onwards, Siddharma dedicated himself to the practice of mindfulness, cultivating inner peace and serenity through non-identification with thoughts and emotions. He discovered that the key to true freedom lay in the ability to observe the ever-changing landscape of the mind without getting entangled in its complexities. Word of Siddharma's transformation spread throughout the kingdom, inspiring many others on their spiritual journeys. His newfound wisdom touched the hearts of those who sought solace and guidance in the face of their own inner struggles. The story of the meditating monk and the Buddha continues to inspire seekers of truth and wisdom to this day. It serves as a timeless reminder of the power of mindfulness and non-attachment, guiding us towards inner peace and freedom from the tyranny of our thoughts and emotions. In contemporary times, as the world whirls with distractions and constant stimulation, the story of the meditating monk holds particular relevance. It calls us to pause and find refuge in the present moment, to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment or attachment. By embracing the practice of mindfulness, we can discover the spaciousness and serenity that lie beyond the chaotic dance of the mind. Like Siddhartha, we can learn to welcome thoughts and emotions as temporary guests, allowing them to come and go freely, while finding the anchor of peace within our hearts. In conclusion, the story of the meditating monk and the Buddha portrays the transformative journey of Siddhartha, a devoted monk struggling with negative thoughts and emotions during meditation. The Buddha's wise counsel encourages him to imagine these thoughts and emotions as passing guests, allowing him to practice non-attachment and mindful observation. Through this practice, Siddhartha finds inner peace and tranquility, realizing that thoughts and emotions are transient and impermanent. The story serves as a timeless reminder of the power of mindfulness and non-identification with thoughts and emotions, guiding us towards inner peace and freedom from the fluctuations of the mind. May we all find inspiration from Siddhartha's journey and embrace the practice of mindfulness in our own lives.